الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا. From Abadu, my brothers and sisters, today as I talk to you, the war in Ukraine is in its fourth day, and I can't help but reflect on this, that there was a time when Mr. Vladimir Putin was a little boy. There was a little time when he was a year old, 2 years old, 3 years old. And this is true for anyone, good or evil. That there was a time when they were little children. And what they became and what they contributed, good or evil, was based on what happened to them when they were little children. Today, if you look at society around us and see what direction the world is going in, all of this boils down to and comes down to what happened with the people who are the decision makers today, what happened to them when they were little children. And that's why in our lesson on raising a Muslim child, I say to you and I remind myself that with respect to Muslim children, we have a special responsibility to ensure that they grow up to be positive, contributing members of society, conscious of their accountability to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from whom nothing can be hidden, and giving the world the best possible that they can give. And this is the responsibility of the adults. The world, the way it is today, whether you like it or not, is the result of the decisions of adults. Children don't make the world. The children today, they have not made the world. They don't take the decisions. Whether it's small children, whether it is older children in schools, colleges, they don't take the decisions. The decisions are taken by their parents and their grandparents. That is the generation. It's one generation up, sometimes two, which is taking the decisions that are shaping society in this world. As I speak to you, Allah knows best what's going to happen. Whether there is going to be a nuclear war, and if there is a nuclear war, what will be the effect of that? Allah knows best. All we can do and we should do is to make a lot of dua, make a lot of istighfar, make a lot of repent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and seek forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And make a lot of dua for khair, for blessing, for safety, and for relief from oppressors of all kinds, and relief for all of those who are being oppressed. Last class I talked to you about being a rat, the problem with the rat race. And I told you that when this friend of mine asked me, what's the solution? I said, be a cat. And then I thought about what does it mean by saying be a cat? And what are the characteristics of a cat? Again, all analogies like this, they have a logical ending, so don't take it literally. Apply it to yourself and say, where am I with respect to the qualities that I'm talking about? And don't say which cat has this. No, it is not about cats, it's about you and me. So I'm saying here, now let us look at what does it mean to be like a cat. A cat is focused primarily on himself. But unlike the rat, the cat focuses on developing its skill as a hunter. Cats don't hoard. So every day is a new opportunity to hunt, to improve skills, to learn from previous mistakes, to take risk, and to pit one's own strengths and talents against external forces. If cats are not successful in the hunt, they sleep hungry. Hunger is a great driver. Cats teach their hunting skills to their children. and group mates, because survival of the whole pride, talking about lions for example, depends on the skills of everyone. Cats don't live in a fixed place and they cover huge ranges in order to find prey. So they necessarily develop perspective. They learn to create strategies for a successful hunt. Cats know that their own survival depends on the well-being of the entire pride, and so they take care of one another. For the cat, the focus is self-development and collaboration. Arising out of this, I identified some key characteristics which I believe if a person develops, he or she will become entrepreneurial in nature and will become a winner in all ways. Let me describe them for you. Because this is a lifelong journey, a life spent in learning and being delighted by that learning. And that's why I said cats don't die, they turn into mist that rises from the forest at dawn. Now, the model that I want to share with you is this model which I hope will be is part of this lecture, which looks like this. I hope you can read that, but doesn't matter, I'm going to talk to you about it. The foundation of this model is faith, is Iman Billah, is Tawakkul ala Allah. Faith is a small word that has a big meaning. It can mean different things to different people. So let me define what I mean by faith. Faith, in my view, is a dynamic process that is based on the individual's understanding of himself or herself in the context of physical, intellectual, psychological, and spiritual strength. That is why self-awareness and emotional understanding is very important. Based on this, he or she takes risk and has success, which reinforces the faith. Where there is failure, they analyze it and create a new strategy, and that also influences and reinforces the faith. Otherwise, faith can be shaken, sometimes with failures. Faith is the sure knowledge that one will succeed in one's endeavor. To do all that is required, make the maximum effort, and then to trust that the result will be favorable. This may sound irrational, but it's a very critical element of the combination. So it's supra-rational, not irrational. It's the final ingredient in the mix that produces success. Faith is the final ingredient which produces success. Without faith, you reach the end of your strength and you find nothing to sustain you across the leap of faith. I like to use the words of Barbara Winters to describe faith. She said, "When you come to the end of the light of all that you know and are about to step off into the darkness of the unknown, faith is knowing that one of two things will happen. There will be something firm to stand on, or you will be taught how to fly. Faith is knowing with complete certainty that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will do what He promised in the Quran. And what did He promise? He said, وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. Allah Ta'ala Jalla Jalaluhu said in Surah Talaq, for the one who has consciousness of Allah, who fears His displeasure, has taqwa. For the one who has taqwa, Allah will extract him from all his difficulties and will provide him from sources that he could not imagine. For the one who has faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, verily He, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will become sufficient for that person. This is the promise of Allah. As the faithful, as those who have faith, we need to ask ourselves this question: do I really believe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? It is this faith that gives courage. The courage to take the unpopular stance, to speak the truth before the tyrant, to stand up for the oppressed, to do what needs to be done no matter how difficult, to follow your dream. It is this faith that lights the path on the long dark road in the late reaches of the night when all about you are asleep and you are sitting wondering if the road that you have chosen to walk is really worth it or not. When human awareness and resistance to adversity is at its lowest, faith is the small, clear voice in your heart which tells you that what you are doing is right and gives you the courage to carry on. Faith is the foundation of courage, and courage enables risk taking. When you operate with courage, taking risk becomes possible. Courage is not what you have before you start. It is what comes when you take the first step. When you first stand up, your heart is fluttering, your knees are weak, and your throat is dry. But as you stand up and all eyes turn to you, a cool breeze blows, and you suddenly find steel inserted into your spine. You stand taller, your senses are enhanced, your eyes are bright, and the voice that comes out of your throat is firm and confident. It's not shaking. It is as if you are standing to one side, listening to yourself, speaking words that you did not know you had in you, explaining things that were themselves unclear to you until then. Yet when you start to speak, you find that not only do concepts become clear, but that you are able to explain them with examples that take people's breath away in that moment of aha that comes not too often, but is remembered for all time when it does come. What you had thought of as risky until then seems easy and winning inevitable. And all that you are aware of is the excitement of it all. Excitement is fear that anticipates a good ending. Excitement is also fear, but it's a fear that anticipates a good ending. So therefore, when you are excited, you do something. Risk-taking creates excitement. Excitement is the adrenaline flow, no doubt. But more important, it is the door that opens onto the vista of new possibilities, of things unspoken and only dreamt of until then, of concepts still in the shadows on the far boundary of knowledge, of what may be, what can become. Imagine that you just reached the top of a steep mountain pass. It was a long, hard climb, at times even dangerous, but you made it. And now you step into the pass towards the gap in the rock that is like a doorway. As you enter the door, you come to the lip of the escarpment that overlooks a valley spread out below your feet. Undulating grassland, hints of blue suggesting a stream flowing into a lake in the far distance, clumps of thick shade trees, the distant cacophony of parakeets and other birds flying around from tree to tree, eating from the tree and eating well. The mist rising in the early morning from the forest floor. Myriad smells and sights and sounds. A cool breeze comes up to greet you and invite you to step forward, taking the first step on the path leading to what new discoveries you don't know yet. I will leave you to imagine the rest. Fill it with the images you want. Experience the shortness of breath, the sparkling of your eyes, the warmth of the early morning sun on your face, and the hint of coming rain. Not the rain that spells cold and damp, but the life-giving rain that the dry earth prays for and waits every day. This is the excitement that creates energy and commitment and drive. For excitement, after all, is also fear, but which anticipates a happy ending. Excitement drives passion. Passion soars on the wings of excitement. When a person works with passion, all the forces of nature collaborate to make him succeed. Much can be done with little, which is what we call barakah. All the numbers add up correctly. Time slows down to let him finish the task. The train comes on time. The taximan returns to him the things that he forgot in the cab when he got off. Passion invokes passion. Passion invites passion. Passion ignites passion. Others who come into contact with a person who works with passion, they get energized. Suddenly they start to see meaning in what they do. Until then, they had been doing it mechanically. People who work with passionate people report an enhanced sense of satisfaction and accomplishment. They look forward to each day to be with their leader and to do what pleases him. I believe most firmly that one must identify what one is passionate about and develop expertise in it. Then, when one does that work, there is no stress, for one is doing what one loves. It is but natural that if you love something and learn to do it, you will do it well. There is a clear difference between the work of someone who is merely doing a job and another one who is answering a calling. For one, it is earning a living at best. For the other, it's the fulfillment of his life's purpose. It's answering a covenant. Imagine a life that is led every day, where every day of that life is a joy to live. That is what being passionate bestows on you. A passion drives excellence. Because it is but natural that someone who is passionate about something will want to do it in the best possible manner. And what is that excellence all about? To continuously search for a better way, a more profitable, compassionate, beautiful, or exciting way to accomplish the goal. It is excellence that makes you do that which the world may consider strange. Excellence is to care more than others think is wise, to risk more than others think is safe, to dream more than others think is practical, and to expect from yourself more than others think is possible. It is only in the search for excellence that new discoveries are made and better ways are found. It's not competing against others, but a race to achieve one's own potential by pushing the boundaries of one's own knowledge and capability and power and influence. Striving for excellence generates respect and attracts followers and enhances one's influence. Excellence creates brand. And in the end, the result of all this all this virtuous spiral or virtuous circle is differentiation. Why differentiate? Because differentiate creates brand. Brand creates loyalty. Loyalty creates influence, and it is the foundation of leadership. Brand creates identity. It enables the leader to stand out and not blend in with the crowd. It makes him or her the standard bearer to whose standard the others rally. It makes him the light in the darkness, which those who are lost seek and need to find the way once again. Positive differentiation creates customers who are loyal and who choose you over your competitors. Producers of products and services strive to differentiate from their competition in ways that are desirable to their customers. and which address a particular key need of their clients so that their clients will choose their product or service over that of their competitors. The same logic applies in human development. The drive for excellence enables the person to create that positive differentiation which makes him or her a brand in himself. And that's what is the essence of being a cat. To be the best that you can be without worrying about what the other one is doing. You still do the best that you can do even if nobody is looking. Because it is not about them, it is about you. When we behave with grace and nobility and compassion and wisdom and honor, you are not doing it because of others. You are doing it because of ourselves. That is how you see yourself. You do it because your behavior defines you and it arises from your beliefs and values. You do, so you get, so you are. You do, so you get, so you are. And that is what your legacy is. To live the message that success is to do the best that you can do, because only that is worthy of you. It's very important, my brothers and sisters, for us to keep this in mind and to ensure that we live a life which is meaningful. To live a life which is meaningful, we have to live a life which is thoughtful. A life of ghafla, a life of thoughtlessness, a life which is only about enjoyment in one way or the other, which goes from thrill to thrill to thrill. This is the life of animals. This is the life of animals. It's not human life. As a human being, we have to look at what is the outcome of my life. And this message must be taken down to children from the earliest time. In my consulting practice of working with family businesses, occasionally I come across a family business which is literally tearing itself apart because the brothers who are involved, the siblings who are involved, in some cases sisters, nobody can see eye to eye and each one wants their piece. So literally the business that was built by the previous generation, by the father, grandfather, is being literally torn apart. It's like a pizza which is being cut and pieces are going away. The question to ask is why does that happen? Why do people who share the same genes, who share the same blood, why do they become enemies of each other? And the answer is that this does not happen suddenly. This is the outcome of how they were raised. One of the most common things I am sure all of us have seen is in the nursery. You have these two little boys who are fighting over a toy, and the father or the mother comes and says, "No, don't fight. I'll get you your own." Yeah, he says to the one who's losing, "I will get you your own." Contrast this with another parent who comes and says, "Look, you must share this and both of you must play with the same toy. If not, I'm going to take it away." Right? Enforce collaboration. Which do we see more of? So that is why when I find one of my, if anybody asks me a question about why this well-run good business is being torn apart because two brothers can't see eye to eye, I say to them, go back to their nursery days and look and see what you see there. At age 2, it's a dinky toy. At age 40, it is the company, it's the organization. Same thing applies to all the different values that we give to the children. What is the value of truthfulness? I know we all talk about this. We say, oh, we should be very truthful, never tell a lie, so on, so on, so on. And then one day what happens? The child doesn't want to go to school. And you get a false medical certificate and give it to the child and say, take this and give it to your teacher tomorrow. The child knows the certificate is a lie. He knows he is lying. He knows the mother is lying, father is lying. But because this lie happens to be convenient, we not only allow it, but we teach the child to tell that lie. So what is the child learning now? Is he or she learning the importance of truthfulness? Or are they learning the importance of lying when we need to lie? Which one? And I can tell you any number of such examples. Examples related to kindness, to compassion, to responsibility, to accountability. Somebody asked me a question, how can I have a good, healthy Islamic atmosphere in my house? I said, you can have it by living like that. Children listen with their eyes. They don't care what you say until they see what you do. If they see their parents behaving in positive ways, then they will learn the benefit of those ways and they will behave in the same way. On the other hand, if they see their parents squabbling and fighting and backbiting and slandering, talking about other people, if they see their parents engaged in ostentatious spending, then that is what they will learn. I remember probably 25 years ago, I was invited to eat with the family, for dinner with the family. And usually, whenever I'm invited, then, it's never free. So they always ask me to, will you please say something, give us a reminder, give us some nasiha. May Allah bless them, alhamdulillah. Nothing wrong with starting with the nasiha of deen. So on this day, when I went to that house, I was sitting in the drawing room and they were getting ready for my session. So somebody had gone to get a mic and this and that. When one of the boys in that family, he couldn't have been more than 15 years old at the time, Allah Alam. He came and quietly in my ear, he tells me, Yawar uncle, tell these people, meaning, and those people were, one of them was his father and the others were his uncles and so on. He said, tell these people not to misappropriate other people's properties. उर्दू में बोला बच्चा मेरे को, बोला यावर अंकल हमारे लोगों को बोलिए कि लोगों के ज़मीन ना को खा जाओ. Don't eat the lands of other people. Now think about this. People today, they complain, a lot of elders, they complain, oh, children have no respect and they don't show respect. What respect is that child going to show for you? When the child sees you, the reality of who you are, that you are a thief, you are a liar, you are a manipulator, right? That's what you are. The child is seeing that. He's seeing you telling lies, he's seeing you manipulating, he's seeing you swallowing somebody else's property. And you seriously believe that this child is going to respect you? How will the child respect you? What is there to respect about you? Make istighfar, make tawbah, change your ways. And believe me, when you own up to a problem and you make effort to change your ways, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very pleased. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will inshallah forgive you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts value for that in the perception of others. So quite contrary to what you might fear, that you will lose authority and credibility, actually your credibility will improve. Your credibility will become stronger and get built up more. Nobody likes liars. So when you own up and say, no, I think I did wrong. I should not have done this. And I apologize. And I'm going to make amends. And I'm not going to do this from now onwards. Believe me, you will be a hero. You're not doing it for that reason. We're not asking you to do it for that reason. You're doing it to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But no harm in getting a benefit. You will become a hero in your society. My brothers and sisters, I remind myself and you, there's only one thing that we need to remember. Only one thing. And what is that? That one day we will die. So sit in front of the mirror, or stand in front of a mirror, and say to yourself, point a finger at yourself and say, you will die. You will die. And you will be resurrected before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you will answer. At that time, none of the smart like answers that you created for yourself will work. Because with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the answer will come out from your heart. So don't put stuff inside which you don't want to be brought and made public. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be pleased with us and never to be displeased. وصلى الله على نبي الكريم وآله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.